Good
This
morning.
conference will now be recorded.
Am I audible? Right. We'll start. So our last concept, where did we end? We ended with where statement, I guess, correct? We ended with where, correct? Where అయిపోయింది replace. Now we'll go to replace. Morning. 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 ఎర్లీ మార్నింగ్ బాగా ఫ్రెష్గా ఉంది కదా అందరికీ. మార్నింగ్ టైమ్స్ ఆర్ యాక్చువల్లీ గుడ్. ఓకే, we'll start. Anyone just woke up and connected? Anyone in this category just woke up and connected? No one? No one? So where we covered replace. So now this concept replace what it will do. The concept replace what it will do. Suppose to say I create a data set DS. Suppose to say I have created a data set DS. Okay, so if you run the program, this data set DS will contain 3 observations and 5 variables. It will contain 3 observations and 5 variables, correct? Right. Suppose to say some other person is also creating a data set with same name. What happens? Data DS set Sas help dot class. So class Sas help is a library where you will have some sample data sets. Is right? Sas help is a library where you will have some sample data sets for practice. For example, in this library, I have a data set called class. Whenever we are writing set statement, what happens? It copies information from class into a data set called DS. Agree, yes or no? Agree, yes or no? Right. So now, before I run this program, my data set DS has how many variables, how many observations? 3 observations, 5 variables. So if you run the program now, your data set DS will contain all the observations from class data set. You see, right? So there are 19 observations present in your data set. Okay, you see a difference, right? You see a difference, right? So here, the point to be noted here is, in a real-time scenarios, there are n number of data sets present in a library. I'm very new to SAS. I'm very new to this work. Unfortunately, if I have created a data set with a name which already exists, what happens? It will overwrite your original data. Correct? Unfortunately, if I have created a data set name which already exists, suppose to say in my work library there is already a data set DS. So I don't know this. So I created a data set with same name. What happens? Your original data is going and it is taking the latest data, whatever you have. This should not happen. Okay, this should not happen because it will be an issue. You'll lose your original data. Okay, so now if you run the program here, you see right, again your DS will contain 3 observations, 5 variables. Again it is overwriting, correct? Correct. So now this should not happen. Okay, being a fresher, okay, being a fresher, whenever I am doing it, I have to do it very carefully. Correct. So they, even for an experienced guy also, there are 100 data sets present in this library. Can I go and check all 100 libraries and give a name here? I will give a name here. Okay, so unfortunately if it is the same, it will overwrite. Okay, so for me, in our case, what I should do is, if there is already a data set with same name, don't replace it. I have to tell SAS, I have to instruct SAS, if you already find a data set with same name, don't replace. If it is not, you can create the data set. Okay, so for this, we have an option called replace. Replace is equal to no. Okay, replace is equal to no. After dataset ds, start bracket, write replace is equal to no. Whenever I write replace is equal to no, what your SAS will do? Your SAS will stop replacing the dataset. So right now your dataset ds is containing three observations and 5 variables. Earlier, whenever I run this program without this replace option, it has overwritten, it said 19 observations, 5 variables. Now I am running the same program with replace is equal to no option. If I run this program, you see log window, the dataset work.ds was not replaced because of no replace option. Because you clearly instructed SAS not to replace, I'm not replacing this dataset. So initially it has read 19 observations also, but it is not overwriting because I have instructed SAS not to do that. So DSE will have now only 3 observations. Your original data is safe, right? Your original data is safe, right? So here you can see replace is equal to no will help us to overwrite data. Okay, present in a specific library. So if I write replace is equal to yes, it will overwrite it. Either you write replace is equal to yes, either you are not specifying this option. By default, SAS will replace your data set. Okay, by default, your SAS will replace the data set. Suppose to say I create a data set with the name DS1. Do I have DS1 in work library? No, right? In this case, no problem. Automatically, it will create a data set DS1. If I run this, you see right log window, it is creating all 19 observations. Yes or no? Yes or no? Everyone clear? Right. So DS1 data set you can see. So you got your latest data. Okay. So this is the case with data step. In proc step, whenever you are trying to read data from Excel file to SAS, if you are trying to read data from Excel file to SAS, what is the procedure I should use? I should use a procedure called proc import. Proc import data file equal to, I have to write the location of the file. So where is my Excel file present? In my system, I have my Excel files present in D drive in a folder called test. Okay, and here I have the file sample. Suppose this I select this file sample. Okay, this is older version of Excel, this is latest version of Excel. Okay, so every time I'm picking this, now I'll pick this. So you see, right, just select the file, do right click, go to properties, go to security, copy the path. So you see, right, this is the path, complete path. And what is the type of the file? XLS. Every time it is XLSX, now it is XLS. Inverted comma start, control V, paste. Whenever we are writing copy of the file, whenever you are taking location of the file, you have to delete first 2 characters and type it again. Otherwise, your SAS will show you an error message. So now DBMS is equal to, what is the type of database here? XLS. Out is equal to DS1. Run. Out equal to DS1 run. So if I run the program, will it read all the data from Excel file into this dataset DS1? Will it read all the data from Excel file into dataset DS1? Will it read? It will not read because you already have a dataset with same name. In a data step, by default, it will replace your dataset. In proc step, if you write replace option, then only it will replace the dataset. Otherwise, no. So I want you guys to notice this change. In a data step, automatically it will replace your dataset. But in proc step, if you write compulsory replace, then only it will replace your dataset. Now I have executed this program. If you see log window, what is the note your SAS gives? Import cancelled. Output dataset work.ds1 already exists. Output dataset ds1 work.ds1 already exists. Right. So you can see here, if you wanted to give a different name, I can give ds2. No, I'm pretty much sure I wanted to store in ds1 only. then you can write DS1, but you need to specify replace option. Now you understood the concept of replace. Everyone understood this concept of replace? Correct? Right. So now if I write replace, then only it will overwrite it. So I just run the program. It has replaced and you got 10 observations in DS1. So this is all about your replace option. Next, password. If you wanted to protect your SAS dataset, I can give a password so that others will not be able to access this dataset. So the option PW is to assign password to a SAS dataset. The option PW is to assign a password to your SAS dataset. Okay, right. Now you can see here, suppose to say I'm creating a dataset DS. Suppose to say I'm creating a dataset DS. Okay, if you see here, this is your dataset DS. I will give a password to my dataset. So before I give password, you guys know how to give a password to Excel file? You guys know how to give a password to Excel file?
Yes, sir.
Yes. If yes, no need to explain. If no, I will explain. All you guys know? Pragya, you know
No,
how to give? Pragya, you're not audible.
no, sir.
No, okay. So now I will show you that as well. You can see if you wanted to give password, you see, right? First of all, I'm opening Excel. Suppose to say I have given some information here. Okay, this is highly, confidential. Right? Naxalites will give coding like this only. Naxalites, terrorists, they will give coding like this only. Anyone looking at this, they will feel it is it is something nonsense. But still, they have a lot of decodes for that. Correct. Okay. Suppose to say, let us assume this is a important file. I have to, give a password. I have to make it password protection. So if you wanted to make it password protection, first of all, whenever you open the file, just try to close. It will ask save for changes, right? Save. Here in tools option, you see, right? Tools option. You have general options. So you see, right? Password to open, password to modify. Two passwords are there. If you wanted to give access to anyone, password to open, I have given password 123. Password to modify 345. So view only, read only, and nor you can modify both. So both passwords I have to give twice. So you see, right? Re-enter password 123. Re-enter password for modify. So I will give PW option and I'll store it in my desktop. Just click on save. Just click on save. So next time whenever I try to open this Excel file, it will ask for a password. So if this person, if this is a person is right person, he wants to, if you wanted to give him the access, yes, you can give. You can give read only password. So this person can only see what information is present in this file. So 1, 2, 3. You see, right? Read only. On top of that, you see, right? Read only. It becomes read only. So if I try to do any modifications and if I try to save it, you cannot save it. Is a read only file. To save a copy, give another name. Okay, right. So now you can see this is a read only file. You can only read the content present in this file. Suppose I say this person is the right person, he can also modify the content. He is also a suitable person to modify the content in this file. So in this case, I have to give modify password also. One more password I'm entering here. Click OK. You see, right? So column GH, nothing is there. Okay. So GH earlier nothing is there. Now you see, I click on save. It will save the file. So if you open this file, you see, if you look at this column GHIR updated. You see the updated information, right? Means your file is updated, correct? Agree, yes or no? Right. So this is how I give a password in an Excel file. So everyone are clear, right? Any questions here? So if you have any questions, no worries here, please ask. Right. So now, if you wanted to give a password to a SAS data set, okay, if you wanted to give a password to a SAS data set, how you will do? After data set name, start bracket. Inside bracket, you will give the option PW. PW equal to Raj. If you run the program, you see log window, it is absolutely fine. If I try to open my dataset DS, can I access this? No, right? I have given a wrong password. It will not execute. So this dataset is not visible to me. Okay, I cannot access this dataset. Correct. So now, whenever there are few people, whenever this guy is not able to open this dataset, why it should be here? I don't want here. He will try to delete it. Untar alantold. There are few people who are there. I am such. Okay, I belong that. So now you see, right, if you try to delete this data set, it will ask password. Okay, so you cannot even delete the data set. Correct. Right. You see, right? Because this guy does not know password, he cannot even delete it as well. Okay. Right. So now if you know the password I have given RAJ Raj. Then only you can delete the data set. So once you have given password, you cannot change it. Once you have forgot password, no option to retrieve. You have to create the data set, same program, you have to run the same program, create a different data set. You cannot do anything. Deletion also, it's not possible. Okay, it is not possible. So that is the reason real-time scenarios, we generally know we will not use this option password. Suppose to say, there are few people who are confused with their passwords. If you are one among them, okay, if you are one among them, while creating the password for the first time, underline, while creating the password for the first time, you can also use the option called alter. Alter password is, you can try, suppose to say, idi marchipote idi, backup password. Suppose to say, you forgot my password as Raj. You have something in your mind, you can give that. So few people will always confuse, right? Ada, something like. Okay. So you can give two passwords at a time. So right now I'm creating this dataset DS for the first time. You see, right? Earlier DS I deleted it. So now KRISHNA, Krishna. Okay. So if you run the program, Krishna is how many words? 7 words, right? Right. So it should be 8 characters only. That's what I'm checking. So DS, right? If you see here, I can open this data set with 3 letters, Raj. Correct? At the same time, I can open this data set with Krishna, KRISHNA. So few people will have in their mind, right, this or that category. So for them, they can give two passwords at a time. So going forward, even though if you forget one, next one we can survive. Okay? Right.
And if we forget both, then
No option here. If you forget both, no option.
okay.
Okay, so once you forgot password, you cannot retrieve that. You see, right, alter password is working for us to delete. Okay, right. So password should have a maximum up to 8 characters length. It should contain alphabets and numbers, but not any special characters. And numbers also not first. You cannot give numbers first. Okay, so these are some restrictions. As I told you just now, whenever I'm typing Krishna, I said it should be 7 characters only. It is 7 characters only. Why? Because I have 8 characters restriction, and your passwords are not case sensitive. Next, label option. If you wanted to assign label to your data set, if you wanted to assign label to your data set, suppose to say, if I run this program, I will get a data set DS1. Agree? I'll get a data set DS1. Yes. But what is there in DS1? I have to open it. I have to go through each and every column, look at least 1 or 2 observations. Then only I can understand what information is present in this data set. Correct? So now, suppose to say I have 50 variables and I have 100 observations. To come to a conclusion, okay, before I conclude this is a sample data, this is employee data, this is student data. So before I come to a conclusion, I have to look at all the columns, right? All the variables, right? Correct. So if you're looking at all the variables, okay, so 50 variables, even though if you take half minute, how much time it will take? 20 minutes, right? Half a minute is, okay, so 50 variables is half is 20 minutes, 25 minutes. At least take 10 minutes here. We are very fast, we took, very less time, so 10 minutes. You will take at least 10 minutes time to understand what data is present in this data set, right? Correct? So now, if you see here, without that, what I can do is, while creating the data set itself, I can give label to my data set. While creating the data set itself, I can give label to my data set. So if you run the program here, you can see log window, it is fine, and you can see your data set DS1. So on top of this, as you see, right, inside bracket, it is showing your label, right? So no need to go through each and every column. Simply, if you see on your top, beside your data set name, you got your label inside bracket. So below also, whenever I place my cursor here, you see, right? Work.ds1 emp data. You can see it, right? Fine. So this is how you can create a label. This is how we can create a label. Clear to everyone? Yes or no? How to give label? So you see, right? You got label emp data. Right. Protection type, you see, right? Read, write, alter. Hmm? So here to show contents also, it has asked me password. Correct. So that is how much, you can understand with this. So how much, safe giving a password in SAS is. Okay. Right. So just run the program. So if you wanted to see the content also, you have to give password. Okay, right. The password type you see, right? Label I have not given for this. If you give label also, it will show label. Earlier it has shown label, right? EMP data, right? So now you guys are clear. With password, label and all, you guys are clear. Next one, no list. Next one, no list. So whenever you are trying to read data in SAS, if it is a character data, you have to give dollar sign. Suppose this I forgot to give a dollar sign. What happens? SAS will throw a error. What kind of error it will throw? What kind of
Blank.
error it will throw? Invalid data. Invalid data for variable name. So this type of error is called data error or logical error. If you see syntax errors are program errors. They are displayed in red color. Syntax errors are displayed in dark red color, and data errors are displayed in blue color with a text called invalid data. In SAS, we have two types of errors. So if you run the program, you see invalid data for name in line 88 527, line 89 527, line 90. You see, right? Line 90. So fifth position is this 527. I have an issue. Got it, right? So here you have 3 observations. If you have 10 observations, if you run it here, your log window is filled, right? Is right? Log window is filled, right? For one observation, how many rows it is taking? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have 10 observations, 10 fours are 40. If you have 20 observations, 20 into 4, 80 lines, your log window will be filled with errors. Yeah, these many errors, I'm not interested. I don't want to see. So now I am a bit experienced programmer. The moment I see the message invalid data, the moment I see the message invalid data means there is an issue with the data type. If it is one column, it will show that one particular column. But here it is showing all the columns, right? So your SAS, what you can understand with this, you can understand. So there is an issue with data type. You are missing a dollar sign for your character variable. So I don't want SAS to display these many types of errors. Normally it will display. If you don't want SAS to display, so what you are supposed to do is you have to use the option called no list. So whenever you are using this option no list, this one particular option no list, you have to write after slash. So migita any like rest all we have written bracket inside bracket, correct? So this one particular we have to write after slash. So if you run the program here, you see, right? Okay. Forward slash really syntax error it is showing. See. So a syntax error it is showing. So actually I have written backward slash, it should be forward slash. You see, right? This is the one it is expecting. Okay. So now you see it, right? If you run the program, this time your program is free. Earlier it was syntax error. Okay, in SAS we have two types of errors, syntax error and data error. Right. So you see red color is syntax error, but blue color is right invalid data for name. So below this I got a note, no list option on the data statement, suppress the output of variable listing. Because you have specified no list option in the data step or data statement, SAS what it has done, it has suppressed means removed output variable listing. Each and every variable it has shown output, right? It has suppressed that, it has removed that listing. Is that clear everyone? Is that clear everyone? Right. So this is how it works. So if you don't want, you can use the option no list. So with this, we are done with total 8 data statement options: keep, drop, rename, where, replace, password, label, no list. Correct. So everyone are practicing, right? Right. Tomorrow we will learn few more new things. Okay. So this debug PGM and is not required view. So we can directly go to creating multiple data sets in one step. These all steps we can learn tomorrow. Okay. Right. All reporting and all we will learn tomorrow. Everyone are clear? Everyone are clear? Right. Okay. Cool. That's all for today, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask. Any questions? No?
Yes, sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, in replacement, you have said that if we want to replace only, we have to use a replacement option. If we
In
want
password,
both,
in proc import.
yeah, sir, if we want both files to be saved
Hmm.
as DS1,
We cannot
what?
create two different files with same name.
Okay,
We cannot create two different files with same name. It's not possible.
okay, sir.
Okay? Right. Okay, that's all for today, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Sir,
Yes, please. You have a question?
yes, sir.
That's okay.
Sir, in today's topic, uh, what will be the thing after writing no list next to dataset names?
So, see, I'm an experienced programmer. I don't want to see, errors. My log window will be filled with a lot of errors. I don't want to see that. So, but I can, with this error message, I can understand. So, invalid data means I can understand. So, if you are such a category, if you don't want SAS to display these many errors, you can use the option no list. No, I wanted to be clear. I'm just in a beginning level. So, I want SAS to display errors. So, in that case, don't write this option.
But
This is
anyway,
how you are instructing SAS to display the errors. Yes, please.
data won't be, it won't pull the data, no, sir.
It will not read data. It will not read that data. You see, right? Variable name is missing everywhere.
Yeah.
It will not read data. Okay? Either you use no list option also. After that also it will not read data. Again, you have to fix it. Then only you have to run it. Then only it will give the data. You see, right? There are no errors. If you see DS1, you got your data. Okay? Is it clear? You still have question? No
Yes.
problem. Ask.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fine, sir.
Okay, cool. Good. Bye, guys.